Well, the sun has decided to grace us with its presence once more. So, we're gonna get out here and plant these strawberry plants finally. The last video that you saw, we had an invasion of fire ants in our bed. So we're gonna come out here and check and see how well our orange oil solution worked. Okay, lots of casualties.
What's a casualty?
Well, they didn't make it. Oh, there's one guy there.
Yeah, he can live. He's fine.
There's a lizard.
A lizard? Is he dead? Where is he?
Alright, so this bed looks a lot better to me. I feel a lot safer about putting my hands in this soil. We'll probably still take safety precautions just in case there's any other ants under the soil. So I'm going to use my hand trowel rather than sticking my hands in here too much. We'll wear gloves while we're weeding, but I don't think we're going to have anything to worry about. So we're going to get these strawberry plants in this bed and take care of a couple other things out here while we've got some sunlight. Alright, so this is what we're working with. We've got half the bed planted with strawberries from last year. I've came through and I just top coated these with some straw to keep them warm over the winter. It looks like we've got several plants in here still, and they have sent runners all the way halfway down the bed here. So that's awesome. We're just gonna let the runners keep running because we want eventually just this whole thing to be taken over. So this was about 25 bare root plants on this half, so we're gonna put another 25 on that half over there. So we're gonna go through and pick out all these weeds that don't belong, probably add some of our own compost over in that corner just to fill it in and even it out where we dug out the ants yesterday, and make this bed look nice and pretty. Probably put down some more straw because we're going to have some really cold nights the next couple nights. That way this bed will be good and insulated and ready to start bearing some fruit in the spring. This is the...
He's bleeding.
Oh, I might have chopped him.
Not much.
This is the product of good rich soil here. These are actually old okra roots from last season. I just left them in the ground hoping that they would break down a little bit more before now, but they're still in there pretty good, so we're gonna have to dig those out. There's just a couple of them left. So we're gonna dig those out, top dress this with more compost, and then we'll put our strawberries in. So one positive or negative, I guess if you aren't educated in the garden, to keeping animals is you have lots of free, I guess you could say free, after all the amount of money that you spend on food and infrastructure, I'm not sure that you can consider it free, but they freely give compost. So we have a plethora of compost. I posted a video couple weeks ago about how we're turning all of our animals' waste into usable compost. So make sure you check out that video and see our system here. This is our phase 2 compost pile. So this is ready to be pulled up and put on our growing areas. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill up our cart and go ahead and add it to our strawberry bed. So I don't get out here and turn my compost every day. I know that a lot of people do and that there's a specific science to it. I just don't really have the time or energy to get out here and do that all the time. So I just kind of like lasagna layer my compost, and honestly it works really well. So the stuff that's on top obviously is newer and it breaks down, and about 12 inches down it turns into usable soil on its own. So there's worms that get in here and they just break it down for me. Every once in a while the chickens will come through and do some spinning and scratching and pecking and kind of move it around for me. But this is a super low maintenance compost pile. The garden seems to love it, so this works for us. There's a big old worm too. Oh, he's huge.
Oh wait, I wanna come see him. I wanna come see him.
There's Lily. That's a big guy.
Oh, he's adorable.
Look, there's his brother right here. Oh, he dropped his tail. Oh, he did it again.
That's disgusting.
He's so big. There he goes. Look. He broke into 3 pieces and he's still that long.
This is one, and this is a third of one. He broke into 2 other pieces.
Look, here's part of his tail.
I don't really want to touch that.
And the other part. Like, he was like a 7-inch long earthworm.
I'm holding dead pieces of worm. Oh, okay, he died. He's dead.
Wasted.
I don't want to touch that. That's
It's dirt.
It's poop.
That's what dirt is.
There's literally just a piece of poop right there. It sounds like poop falling on the ground. Take a bee, take a bee.
Okay, so we have 25 bare root strawberry plants. Now, when you think of a strawberry plant, you might think of the whole plant that you get from like Lowe's or that you see at a strawberry field, that sort of thing. These are not that big. This is 25 bare root plants here. So it's literally just the runners that have been picked from a larger strawberry field and bundled together. So the ones that we started last year over there that actually look like full out plants now actually started from those. So I planted 2 or 3 roots per bundle, and you could separate them even more. They'll grow over time and continue to multiply, but I just kind of clumped them together. They did really well. I'm gonna do the same thing this year. Probably plant 4 rows of maybe 3 or so per row. So we'll see what that looks like and go from there. The variety of strawberry that I'm planting this year are strawberry sequoia. I ordered these through groworganic.com, which I told you about a couple videos ago, how I've ordered all my fruits from them at this property and have been very pleased with them. It was not their fault that these came in so late. I ordered these back in December and they just got here the 1st of March. So, you know, weather and US Postal Service delays, those sorts of things just pushed them way behind. So I'm still pleased with the company. They were in contact with me, let me know what was going on. So I'm very happy with them and will continue to use them in the future. The variety that I planted last year were Strawberry Seascape, and this variety bore for several months. I would say at least 4 months we were still pulling strawberries off. And in the heat of the season, in like May, we were getting several handfuls a day, and it was their first year. So I was very impressed, and I'm hoping that the ones we planted last year will double in production this year, and the ones that we're planting today will do as well as the others did last year. So let's get these in the ground. And there we have it. These are going to get some nice warm sunshine today, and we'll come out here and make sure to close the box up before the sun goes down so that it can keep the heat inside the box tonight whenever it dips down cold. So the last thing I want to do today before I go inside is prune a couple of my fruit trees. Right now is the time to prune them. You want to do it before they start blooming and budding out, while they're still in their dormant stage. So I didn't prune the trees that I put in pots this year because They are brand new. Some people cut their fruit trees way back the very first year so that they can develop their roots better. I typically don't do that, but that's just a personal preference. So I can just come and remove the branches that I think will decrease the airflow and also to help aesthetically. So I'll show you exactly how I do that. Okay, here we have one of our nectarine trees. It does not have any buds on it just yet, so it's the perfect time to try and clean it up a little bit. So I'm gonna take off some of the bigger branches that are growing like into the shed. Just gonna snip it right back. Ones that might be touching anything, gonna grow outside of the fence, which the rest of these look okay. Anything that looks a little bit dead, crunchy, cut those off. You want to look inside of the tree. So you have your main stalk here, and then you have some of your thicker branches that come off of it. Now any branch that's going to start crossing over, you want to remove those. So you want your tree to be growing outward and not inward. So anything that's growing into the middle of the tree is going to get removed, and anything that's crossing other branches is going to get removed as well. That's it for the pruning on this tree. Very minimal. Actually, I'm going to take that one off there. Probably. I can't do it left-handed. There we go. Okay, so very minimal, just enough to allow for plenty of airflow through it. And it's not going to be touching any structures or getting tangled up in anything. That looks good to me. Can I help you? Alright, so that looks better to me. Nice and clear. Don't you do it. Don't you even do it. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be removing this crepe myrtle here from this space, because this is kind of our fruit patch area. We've got 2 blueberries there that are going on their 2nd year, and I like to plant melons down here on the ground that vine out. So this crepe myrtle gets very big and takes up a whole lot of space, so I want to remove it and make more space and more sunlight for our fruits. One thing you do want to consider whenever you are pruning any kind of tree is that you sanitize your clippers, especially if you have any kind of diseased trees. You don't want to spread from one tree to another. Thankfully, our trees are good and healthy. There's no issues with that. But if there was, you can sanitize them with, some people use like a bleach solution, vinegar. I have barbicide wipes that are just from my old cosmetology days that I would wipe down, you know, combs or clipper pieces or whatever. So I still have some of those, and if I really need to, I will wipe these down. And I use the same on like my goat hoof trimmers and anything like that that needs to be disinfected. As you can see, I've moved our milking stand into the shed. It's been working out really well. I did this because Mama was starting to get a little bit spooked whenever like the cat would run by or a dog would come up, or she would get sidetracked whenever she heard baby. So this gives us a space that we can go in and just have some privacy. She feels more relaxed. I'm able to milk her right inside of there, and on mornings like this morning when it was sprinkling, we don't have to be out in the elements. So it's worked out really nicely, and I've gotten a lot better. She's gotten a lot better since our first milking video, so we'll do a milking update here before too long. That's about it for today. We're wrapping it up outside. Gonna move inside. We're actually going to ride over to the land here in a couple hours. They finally got the machinery going, so we are going to see some progress over there. Some trees knocked down and a driveway cut in, and hopefully the start of our home plot. So we are over the moon excited. I can't wait to get over there and see what it's looking like. And we'll be sure to take you guys along with us. But for now, that's it. You guys take care, and we'll see you next time.